You are watching Liberty Online TV.
This is Liberty Online TV powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange.
Freetonians, dirty must go. And just like how for property rates and business license, FCC not the deal with cash, the service providers themselves, on behalf of FCC, not the deal with cash. So for you dirty must go, if you did any sign of Freetown except the Central Business District when at Block 6, you did use the Smart Cities app. If you did at Block 6, you did use the Dirty Box app. Dirty must go, cashless.
Dirty must go. I said dirty must go. With a city castle and the one
Hello from Bullens, not dirty education. When you get your West container, all dirty now for container. Now so then you know say we are for pay West collection fee. What you see them say? They go can they osh? They go can collect you dirty for small penny. Take precaution for we well body. By force, fit on for clean.
you ready if dirty na skit say do ya left. You ready if dirty na go time make you pick up. If it's on for clean, say na me, say na you. So pick up me. Dirty must go. I said dirty must go. With a city castle and the one qui sont là seul. Quand c'est l'os and say pick up me.
The world, they move fast, especially in the social media space. Every second, plenty things they happen, but waiting actually you they look for. Interesting story then at the social media where they shape your life. So, not waiting they happen at the problem, but how it they affect you. Welcome to Trends. Also, we they bring you the real story them behind the social media noise. From technology, we don't take over the office them, to see them where they happen to we every day. We they dig deep, ask the hard question them but then story here. Join the conversation with me and my panelists them. 12 o'clock every Wednesday now all the Liberty Online TV platform them.
Freetonians, dirty must go. And just like how for property rates and business license, FCC not the deal with cash, the service providers themselves, on behalf of FCC, not the deal with cash. So for you dirty must go, if you did any sign of Freetown except the Central Business District when at Block 6, you did use the Smart Cities app. If you did at Block 6, you did use the Dirty Box app. Dirty must go, cashless.
Dirty must go. I said dirty must go. With a city castle and the one qui sont là seul. Précolixé.
Hello from Bullens, not dirty education. When you get your West container, all dirty now for
I said dirty must go.
We say it
With a city castle and I wanna kiss on your say. Cancel loss and say. Picame.
The world, they move fast, especially in the social media space. Every second, plenty things they happen, but waiting actually you they look for. Interesting story then at the social media where they shape your life. So, not waiting they happen at the problem, but how it they affect you. Welcome to Trends. Also, we they bring you the real story them behind the social media noise. From technology, we don't take over the office them, to see them where they happen to we every day. We they dig deep, ask the hard question them but then story here. Join the conversation with me and my panelists them. 12 o'clock every Wednesday now all the Liberty Online TV platform them. The world, they move fast, especially in the social media space. Every second, plenty things they happen, but waiting actually you they look for. Interesting story then at the social media where they shape your life. So, not waiting they happen at the problem, but how it they affect you. Welcome to Trends. Also, we they bring you the real story them behind the social media noise. From technology, we don't take over the office them, to see them where they happen to we every day. We they dig deep, ask the hard question them but then story here. Join the conversation with me and my panelists them. 12 o'clock every Wednesday now all the Liberty Online TV platform them. The world, they move fast, especially in the social media space. Every second, plenty things they happen, but waiting actually you they look for. Interesting story then at the social media where they shape your life. So, not waiting they happen at the problem, but how it they affect you. Welcome to Trends. Also, we they bring you the real story them behind the social media noise. From technology, we don't take over the office them, to see them where they happen to we every day. We they dig deep, ask the hard question them but then story here. Join the conversation with me and my panelists them. 12 o'clock every Wednesday now all the Liberty Online TV platform them.
And we will bring this Tuesday edition to you. Me, Khadija Bangura.
Right, and Mina Mebel Kaba, good morning. Inside this Tuesday edition of the Breakfast Show today, a lot of discussion they go around for Sika, the ECOWAS Media Summit with Salon the host. Well, today we can't analyze, we can't hear it from the government, we can't talk about whether not a profit or loss to Salon economy for post the media summit of the ECOWAS. Government they can't tell we the young partner all of this, how Salon the host the summit, what it will cost, what it mean. Let Salon at this time host the summit. Also, an analyst get for can analyze for we whether a profit or a loss to the country. A lot of people get a young perspective on this particular hosting of the ECOWAS Media Summit. Some people believe say it's not timely, the money where government they put into RAM for going to other things, whilst other people believe say this go put Salon at the international map, especially in the region. Also, country head of states then come together, can meet na Salon. Why would they get the conversation today for let we know if really this is not a profit or loss to the country economy?
Well, this and other issues them they inside the breakfast show for you this Tuesday morning, and today we get the Minister of Foreign Affairs, when Honorable Alhaji Musa Timothy Kaba, we go can tell we waiting at some of the benefits them where this ECOWAS Media Summit gets to Salon, especially ten like this way President Bio na the ECOWAS chairman. And the studio want to welcome the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Good morning, Mr. Minister.
Good morning, Liberty TV, and good morning, the people of Sierra Leone.
All right, President Bill, as the sitting chairman of ECOWAS, they host the ECOWAS Media Summit. Firstly, give viewers them a background as to Usauna Komote una reach to this decision, say, as a country and as a chairman of ECOWAS, it want for host the summit.
Well, ECOWAS as an organization, now the premier sub-regional organization where they formed about 50 years ago for regional integration, in view of peoples and goods and services movement, from one country to the other, for enhance, regional cooperation, for also, regional cooperation in security, in trade, in investment, in cultural exchanges, in our collective security, stability and development. So 50 years on, Sierra Leone don't be part of this organization. As a matter of fact, as one of the founding countries of ECOWAS. And throughout this history, ECOWAS don't contribute to Sierra Leone immensely, and Sierra Leone also don't contribute to ECOWAS in many ways. And we go back to peace and security in the 1980s, where war broke out in Liberia. Our sitting president, His Excellency President Bio, was a military officer. We been there among soldiers, where Sierra Leone been sent for go Liberia for peace, for go, restore peace in that country. Equally so, when the civil conflict been consumed with country, we see the role where the community do, play in terms of military intervention and other soft supports to with peace. And so we are an intricate part of this organization, and as a result, we aspire for lead the effort of the organization in a way for sure say we serve a responsible member of the organization, that we can provide leadership at the highest level of the authority. And it happens that in June last year, unanimously the leaders of the community, taking into cognizance happenings in our sub-region and the general geopolitical landscape, it was the wisdom of the leaders then for elect President Bio for this term of 2025 to 2026 chairmanship of the authority. And President Bio we accept that gracious, a privileged opportunity for leading peers and the community at this very difficult time. And the president in 1 year is marked as a period of rejuvenation, a period of intense security cooperation, deepening democratic governance, and also a period of rejuvenated, an intensification of, if you like, regional integration. Many things will happen in this 1 year, but every nation or we get the privilege of having the chair of the authority of a community organization get the gift for either organize a summit in country or do the summit in Abuja when at the headquarters. And of course, there are 2 summits per annum. You get the end of year summit, ordinary summit, where they in December, and you get the mid-year summit where they in June, July, August. And in this case, we've been old with first summit under the chair of President Bio, now Abuja, which was the December summit, and we decided forget this historic moment. Now we Sierra Leonean soil for organize this summit, and that is where we are 1 year on, putting a show that has been heralded as one of the best shows we a hosting country apart from Abuja don't put this kind of show for organize ECOWAS.
1975 to now, many years down the line since ECOWAS was established. Sierra Leone, this is the first time hosting this particular summit. Why government thinks it's the right time to do so?
It's the right time because the community leadership believes it's the right time for President Bio to become chair of the authority. And a country that has benefited immensely from ECOWAS's solidarity, a cooperation among and between countries in the organization. I think I can always coin on this way. We get a deep sense of moral gratitude for express to the entire community for the thousands of lives we perish in pursuit of peace and stability in our country. And apart from the hardware intervention, ECOWAS don't get very many soft interventions in conflict prevention. We see quite recently after the 2023, multiple elections we country behold, both at legislative and presidential. There were discontentment expressed, and there were some group of we society, we being SIDOM and said they participate in governance. ECOWAS became one of the first organizations for respond to that early warning of discontent and a possible crisis. And ECOWAS led a team of international, mediators who came and then came Salom and then put the parties together, and we've been able to resolve that problem, which culminated into the tripartite agreement. So these are preventive diplomacy, diplomatic efforts where ECOWAS do for ensure, say, peace and security. But people can say, why always we talk about peace and security? In the absence of peace and security, no country, no community, no region will be viable for any kind of investment or development. And so that is why ECOWAS is important to us. Whether or not it is the right time, yes, it is the right time, because leadership is called upon when it is necessary, when it is but very necessary that leadership will come and find solution to the very many challenges that we face. And I think this is the right time.
You did play an integral role in the planning, and you did part of the planning committee, and an estimated amount of $86 billion for this summit. Why you think say important now for let the country spend that kind of money?
You see how much?
Such particular summit.
Wasn't that the cost where you say?
$86 million estimated cost. Where government want for spend plus additional 15 million where they come out from member state for host this summit. Why our government thinks it's important at this point in time for spend such amount of money?
And the conference or the summit don't inspire government investment. And I think this is now one of the boldest investments we are making as a country, a stable country, for unlock the inexorable challenges and way this country don't get in terms of opening ourselves to international conferences, to a huge number of people coming to our country for see what we get as a nation and for also see what we are capable of doing as a country. And I believe, say, the amount you don't call, I cannot verify. I am not in the finance committee, but I know, say, government has an arrangement of about $124 million for build a whole infrastructure in Lunge for this summit and for other conferences and other purposes. We go open Lunge as a city for conferences and summit, and also we go give Lunge that futuristic ability and potential for become another city of importance to a country. We all know unaware of the fact that Sierra Leone has this geographical challenge of having to traverse the estuary, we the locals and people with the Canadian country. And we know even for we as locals, how challenging that is. We they travel for come for cross, on boat, come to Freetown and back. And so, with Lungi now going to be, having these infrastructure, and therefore now sort of assuage the challenge of people then for cancer alone and cross the estuary in ungodly hours. And so therefore this investment, yes, is triggered by this ECOWAS summit, but the importance and the use of this infrastructure and the benefits of this investment goes far beyond this ECOWAS, occasion. And so, yes, $124 million at this time, I think it's important because the money is not coming directly right now from Treasury that you're going to empty Treasury. It's a financing arrangement, a PPP arrangement where over the period of time, those who have invested their money are going to recuperate their money from the investment. But the fact of the matter is the accompanying benefits with this investment, they forget a far more than what would they imagine for the cash outlay that has been put into the investment right now for the construction of this infrastructure. This solid money is not going into the soft arrangements, catering, this and that, millions of dollars. No, it is going into a transformational infrastructure where they open a country and showcase what we are capable of doing as a country.
When you look at some of the things them where President Bio don't they do as chairman of the ECOWAS region and now hosting this summit, one go to wonder whose kind of legacy President Bio want for left as president of the republic, and during his tenure he host the ECOWAS summit as a sitting chairman.
Well, look, I benefit from the drop of benefits in terms of the leadership of the president. And I'm so pleased that at this very moment of our country history, I have the humbling opportunity to serve in the capacity of Minister of Foreign Affairs, noting the respect we Sierra Leone get today in our sub-region, in the continent, and globally. And this not just happen in vacuum, as the result of the tenacious leadership of President Bio for take up challenges where some people can even describe, like the Secretary General says, many people can say, sorry, on the punch above, what is supposed for punch at. It is visionary leadership. I think it's necessary because we country over the years has been notorious for things some way, be not hold way back. And perhaps that the description and characterization of a country may not serve as a disincentive for foreign direct investment in our country, for sober investment in infrastructure, for sober investment in tourism, for sober investment in agriculture, those nerve centers of a country economy.
So this summit, they change
not only this summit, but the leadership of President Bio in Sierra Leone's promulgation of a foreign policy. One, we have just come from the UN Security Council. We come out from that council with a texture and complexion where makes alone as a responsible state where they merchandise peace, security, and stability. We are also presently back to back in the African Union Peace and Security Council, also contributing to the peace effort of the continent. Sierra Leone played a pivotal role in the African Union Peace and Security Council during the presidency of the AU Peace and Security Council for help Guinea transition from military rule to a civilian constitutional rule. In ECOWAS, we don't see this 1 year of President Bio. When the president was elected, he set out 4 priorities. 10 priorities are not too different from the mandate of ECOWAS, but he hive out them 4 priorities there and say he was going to focus on these 4 priorities because them 4 priorities here, they underpin the success of peace and security in our sub-region and development. President Bio say we have to deepen democracy and good governance. Now make we accompany those countries that have found themselves in military governance for transition into constitutional rule. Helped Guinea, and there was a coup attempt in Benin, which was almost 80% successful. When we got the SOS, President Bio called some world leaders and then decided for use the framework of ECOWAS for authorize an ECOMOC intervention. The Nigerian Air Force was authorized by President Bio as chair of the authority, then sending aircraft would then go thwart what could have been really a destabilizing coup d'etat in the sub-region. Equally so, when the coup happened in November of 2025 in Guinea-Bissau, President Bio dispatched me. I went to the foreign minister of Senegal for extract the deposed president, and after that, President Bio don't lead 2 walking visits to Guinea-Bissau for help Guinea-Bissau for review the constitution, review the electoral laws and political parties regulation, and for help this country for going to referendum and conduct elections and return to constitutional order. That is going on. And besides that, President Bio don't also add, like he say inside in 4 priorities, for restitute credibility in ECOWAS's institutions. We inherited the divorcing of the AES countries from ECOWAS. There was a whole confusion with positions held by citizens of the AES and all of that. The government of, the presidency of the chairmanship of President Bio, right at me on level, Minister of Foreign Affairs in the Executive Council, we've been able to make sure, say, that divorce became seamless and ECOWAS not break down in terms of in architecture of the in human resource architecture. So all of those work done for strengthening peace and security, strengthen regional integration, and also for make sure, say, the institutions of ECOWAS get credibility and ECOWAS get visibility for able to stand the test of time during this very difficult time of multipolar geopolitics.
We they can't talk about the expected outcomes then, where the summits actually go down over. But let we talk a little about the resources. A lot of resources don't go into this. A lot of people in the public don't they ask questions why government want for put all of that money there into this at this time where the economy is strained, and a lot of people they will believe say that huge amount of money where government they point to this but don't go into other thing them. Now, the big question here, you say the government going to a PPP, a private public partnership. Who that's not this company or person where the government they into this PPP with, we get these resources where the government they use to now on this?
Of course, the FB group, not the company. There is an overarching agreement with the FB group, that they do the airport, formerly known as SUMA. The SUMA group, and in that overarching agreement we get hotel and other facilities. We're going to improve the vicinity of the hotel. So the wisdom of the government is, okay, this company can mobilize. They have a verifiable example of performance, the airport, and so FB they put money. We get an external bank where also they put money. Then the government of Sierra Leone they put money. PPP.
External bank from where?
You get EB Bank, with our ECOWAS Bank as well. We they invest in that. You get Afro-Exim Bank. These are all multilateral bank systems. We also they contribute and government they give. So it's actually electrical sources of funding. And so we, of course, a long-term realization of returns where they come back for sort of settle this debt. It's not like going
because
to.
that's how they want to say waiting the contract.
I understand people's legitimate concern over it. Everybody will want for prioritize education, healthcare, and all of these. But yes, investment in infrastructure is very important. Without solid infrastructure, tourism will not thrive. Without solid infrastructure, we will not attract befitting businesses where will come for provide jobs for people. Let me go to why I said this investment is visionary and transformational. When you look at the National Stadium, which was gifted to us, it's a grant. Several years now, about 4 or 5 years now, the National Stadium is under, reconstruction, and because it was gifted to us, and even the money they take for refurbish the National Stadium, it's also a grant. So I think we have over the years been a country where they receive grants for even those infrastructure we're supposed to define we as a nation. Infrastructure for take pride in, for say this infrastructure was built by this country. In order for law, we should say we as a country, we have graduated from being people that are gifted everything. That is why this infrastructure justifies the investment. The infrastructure investment is not only going to be for this ECOWAS summit, but it's going to open a wide gate of opportunities for this country. Lunge is the gateway. And I think with this infrastructure, more infrastructure will come to Lunge. And I am very confident that Lunge will metamorphose into...
Another medic question is, looking at the terms, the conditions of the agreement where governments go into for get that done.
It's a PPP agreement, like I said. And of course, these are...
conditions and where they
No, I don't know the details. I'm not very much furnished with the details right now at the studio, but obviously it's an agreement where the people then forget their say now, because I'm sure an agreement that goes through cabinet will be ratified in cabinet if it has not already been ratified. So definitely the agreement is going to be a public agreement, and that's why officers like us can even come to the media and say it's a $124 million investment. And of course, look, we want to do Lunge Bridge. Everybody want Lunge Bridge to be constructed because it will help the women and men and children who live in Lunge for get access to Freetown without waking up at very ungodly hours for comfort, for speedboat and other things. It will open this country's economy. If we are not daring enough to build transformational infrastructure, I think Uganda will just remain for be a decrepit nation in terms of infrastructure that will not compete with others in the sub-region. Go to Guinea, go to even Liberia, go to Cote d'Ivoire, go to Benin. These countries are becoming an attraction for international development, for international investment, because of requisite infrastructure.
Mr. Minister, after all of these summits, also you go say you go left Salone as a country in terms of image branding, in terms of visibility internationally. Let not turn like other summits them when are just like a fanfare where it don't also go back to normal.
Well, this is different in many ways. ECOWAS is the most functional regional organization in Africa in terms of, in fact, the core integration benefit of ECOWAS when movement of persons, goods, and services within the sub-region. I think there is no, especially the movement of people, there is no regional economic group or community in the world that is as effective as ECOWAS. ECOWAS is part of us, and we are part of ECOWAS. So when the summit ends, does not mean ECOWAS will end. There is an ECOWAS office in this country, ECOWAS organizations, and they are like IGAWAMA, when are the monitoring agency, and all of those organizations. And ECOWAS is a people's organization. So we are actually ECOWAS. So even if the summit ends, ECOWAS is still going to exist in us, and we are going to exist as ECOWAS. The infrastructure, for example, there's already a conference that is set for November. It's going to be the West African Integrated Investment Summit that is going to draw not only ECOWAS heads of state, but Western Africa and the key financial players in our sub-region, including the entire continent, are going to descend on Lungi, because by then it is hoped that the 5-star hotel will be ready. All the presidential villas of 15 will be ready. Other hotels and safe right now. Lungi is full over capacity. So I believe after the summit, many of the locals who have hotels in Lungi who want to, optimize this hotel, raise the standard, because Lungi is now going to be, in real sense, the gateway to Sierra Leone, and perhaps it's going to be the place where we stop people in Freetown, because it will be a one-stop conference, facility. And so, yes, after the summit, you are going to have conferences that come. Lungi is no longer going to be the same. Brand new airport, 5-star hotel, which we don't have in Freetown. Right. By the way, we don't get 5-star hotel.
Yeah, the culture of maintenance lacking a salon. So you say Lungi no go ever be the same again after the summit. Someone go out for disagree with you.
No, I don't want anyone to disagree, because we have to live above with fears.
Now, based on experience.
Yes, but that inexorable bad name, who don't get in this country, so we don't get maintenance culture. I think we should now inculcate a new culture for say this. Now, when money don't go inside, they will take responsibility for it. I make mention of a U building, for example, and the stadium. When you see these buildings, when I was Minister of Mines, I was in U building, for example. There's nothing we could do for improve. We own particular, small corridor will get, other than just doing tiles and doing other fittings. We come to electricity, we come to water system, now one system, because this was gifted to us. We have no control. And anytime we want to pass and see if we will call those who gifted us from come and can repair. But with this sort of investment, like the airport, the arrangement for the airport is SUMA, we build the airport, controls the airport for a period of time, including maintenance. It's the same arrangement for this, 5-star hotel. It's going to be Hilton rated. So Hilton standard is going to be kept there. And I believe, look, with that kind of money, definitely there will be care for them, possibly they maintain them, because they have to recuperate their money. And we serve as a people who get that responsibility, patriotic responsibility, for maintaining them property and make them fit for continued use, so that this country will benefit from those infrastructure.
Let me talk about the expected conversation then between His Excellency and his counterparts, the Modikana Salom. So many things they happen at the region right now. And you, as the foreign minister, you there at the center of all of the discussions then they, because they are side the way each they able for go. You they go for go represent them. How the conversations go centered around issues them where they affect the region right now. Border issues then they happen. Issues of military takeover and their happen, and other things then.
You see, that's correct. Khadija, I don't be around this space now for 3 years as Minister of Foreign Affairs. So before I normally attend ECOWAS meetings, I never had the opportunity and privilege. During the course of these 3 years, I've attended about 9 ECOWAS summits, which includes extraordinary summits, or where they can call for emergency. And there has not been any summit in the past 3 years where I don't attend, we get an attendance of this level. We are getting almost 100% attendance. If you go for some summit, then sometimes out of the 12 heads of state, you only get about 5 to 6 heads of state, and the rest can be foreign ministers representing their superiors. But for this, almost all the heads of state are coming to Freetown. We get an extra person where they come honor the president of Mauritania. Remember, Mauritania has been one of the founding countries of this organization. but Mauritania been get for left in 2000 for other priorities where they want get with the Maghreb, the other regional organization in the north. But then the leadership of President Bio don't attract even Mauritania. Now Mauritania is making a rapprochement, say they want to be in Freetown for see how this is going to be held, and they are even considering coming back to ECOWAS. Well, many discussions get for the participation now, an expression of the satisfaction of the leaders with President Bio in leadership. Discussions will be on coup d'etats, security. We get for updates the summit on the situation in the situation in Guinea-Bissau, the transition process, how we work with the Guinea-Bissau government for make that particular country come back to constitutional rule. We get for also get the summit of the future. This is not only an extraordinary summit of the heads of state, it's a combined summit. We get the summit of the future. The summit of the future we get for in the morning, and then the extraordinary summit. What is a summit there about? This summit get a compact that has been developed, and we get for these days deliberate the compact as ministerial council for present that compact to the summit for let the summit approve that compact. What's in contained in that compact? Now reforms. 50 years on, many things don't happen. The face of ECOWAS is now different. The traditional toolbox would have been created for deal with the challenges of ECOWAS. The problems don't outstrip that toolbox today. And so therefore, like the UN, after 80 years, there's been a review of the compact for the future. ECOWAS is also saying we have to review the workings of ECOWAS. We have to look at our protocols for see what's in obsolete, what's in the work, and what's in the work, what's in for add for make the organization a viable organization. So yes, the discussions are going to be as epochal as the moment of organizing the first ECOWAS summit on our land.
If there discussion there, as you don't see, get for happen, waiting you then envisage for happen at the region after this conference?
ECOWAS is not going to be the same anymore after this summit, because President Bio has demonstrated gratitude to the collectivism. It also shows leadership, then they make the difference. The time you don't come with people in the say ECOWAS should not even exist. But again, you cannot blame ECOWAS. ECOWAS happen for also get a flashback from what's in the happen in the world today. The global landscape don't shift. International law is abrogated in some instances. The UN Charter, it has been disregarded in some notable instances. Sovereignty and territorial integrity has been touched in some instances, and those who have touched the political independence of other states don't go scot-free with that. And so we see the global order is actually upended. And now even the pursuit of diplomacy, of foreign policy is now more mercantilist, transactional foreign policy, not to the kind of foreign policy we been get that was defined by moral responsibility, where certain states them feel say by virtue of their position, the all moral responsibilities of other nations.
So this don't make other countries then don't they lost confidence in ECOWAS, say they don't get that full authority again, where they be used for get?
Well, not only ECOWAS. You cannot only accuse ECOWAS of being of being in a state that is not already capable of dealing with the challenges. Now, I can say the traditional toolbox where they create for ECOWAS, the problems have outstripped the traditional toolbox. Now, could they get the summit of the future where President Bio and in colleagues and say, we present that compact to this summit in Freetown. And that compact is going to be remembered as the Freetown Compact. We get for now lay the plan, strategy, and the new policies and protocols and articles of our organization for the organization thrive in the face of climate change, in the face of inequality, in the face of shift in global power, in the face of many challenges such as pandemics and all of those.
How this outcome na Salone get for be different from every other outcome where ECOWAS don't get them media summits them, where we see countries and still they where they withdrawn the membership from ECOWAS. How this get for different, this outcome, how we get for different from the others?
Yeah, we get uptick in on constitutional takeover of democratic governance now sub-region in the past few years. It was just like domino effect from this country. Even we suffered that. We had an attempted coup. May the souls of those we perished on that, on that fateful day, on those fateful dates of August 10 and of course November 26, 2023. Insecurity been done pervade everywhere within we ECOWAS sub-region. But I guess in the past 1 year, we've seen ECOWAS coming back to its old glory. And what will be different from this? Leadership, differentiated leadership has been provided in the course of the tenure of President Bio. A rekindled trust and interest in ECOWAS has been enhanced. And so now everybody they can to Freetown for express that solidarity with President Bio. And so because we also get the summit of the future, we get a compact we get for now define the new ECOWAS. The outcome of this summit will definitely be different from the outcomes we will get in the in the predecessor summit that we don't get in the past few years.
I should say don't they follow the conversation there online from the time way this news broke out, say Salon they host the ECOWAS Media Summit, critique them of the Bio-led administration. Don't they see and like say that just waste of money? The country gets other compelling priorities. Like therefore don't use that money they spend now for pay teachers where they grumble for increase of salary, pay no system, we still raise issues of PIN code and other things then.
I know people, of course, could be very much, they will get amnesia for this kind of investment because of what they tell you about what happened in the 1980s with the OAU. I wasn't there. I cannot verify, but legend or people in the say that the money wouldn't spend in the 1980s for organized OAU led to the breakdown of the economy of Sierra Leone. And so that alone, it's already a reason why people don't be very jittery about investment for organized international organizations. So it's a legitimate fear. But I just want to assure the people of this country that the hosting of this summit is not only for prestige or for the fact that President Bio wants to become, I haven't been the chair of the authority, he wants to climax it with a very big show where some people they describe as
Bragalicious.
Yes, bragalicious show. No, it's an expression of the responsibility of the president as a regional leader and as a national leader where they merchandise the prestige and competence of a country to the sub-region. Now in this summit mean, but also putting a critical infrastructure in Lunge for unlock the potential of our country. I tell you what, this country, if we able empower with tourism sector and agriculture sector, I think even the mines play the pivotal role in economic activities could be made redundant because we get so much potential in tourism. But this critical infrastructure has always been absent. So the justification for this infrastructure goes beyond ECOWAS summit that is going to be held only on the 19th, but it goes to unlock the potential of the country in tourism.
All right, if you just tune in, you still watch the Breakfast Show where they come to you live on Liberty Online TV. And today we sit down with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Timothy Kaba, where they talk about the ECOWAS Media Summit, where Salon the host. And they are this morning for explain government on path with the expectations of the outcome, because a lot of people believe, say, a lot of money they go into this, but then go on for know the outcome of the summit, how relevant it will be to Salon at the end of the day. As we continue the conversation, Mr. Minister, let me go back to the issue we get to do with the infrastructural development, where you say now one thing and then the way Salon go get from this, because we're talking at the bill so now in order for end after the summit. But how optimistic you be say the structures where they in place now because of this summit go get for continue for day, we not go day to a situation where 1-2 years down the line we know you're nothing again about the structure.
As the finance, the multilateral finance, PPP, coming from FB Group, one of the contractors, also coming from EBIT Bank as one of the contributing financial institutions, Afro-Exim Bank, the government of Sierra Leone. So there is a multiple interest in the infrastructure. And I believe the studied and deliberate choice of the airport, now because we don't see how the FB group, they manage the airport. The airport was constructed in 2023. Today, the airport looks like it was constructed today. And I believe a Hilton rated airport, 5-star hotel is going to be run by Hilton standards. And there's going to be a management company that's going to manage this infrastructure. And I believe, within that vicinity, that infrastructure will be managed properly and it will remain befitting.
Now, Salon will get the resources will come from that.
Well, the investment is multilateral. Everybody don't put in money. So the returns that are going to come will take care of the loan, what they don't use for building the hotel. But, and I guess when the loan, then we don't pay all the loan, the infrastructure will definitely be property of the government of Sierra Leone.
Burden on the government.
How is it going to be a burden?
Considering the other competing priorities where the government get now?
Well, the Ministry of Finance were responsible for expenditures and collecting of revenues for the state. If they put a stamp of approval on her, I believe, in new personal conviction that this investment is good, because the Ministry of Finance wants revenue from tourism. The Ministry of Finance wants revenue from traveling. The Ministry of Finance wants revenue from the different sources of revenue in this country. Opening Sierra Leone to international opportunities will bring the needed revenue we'll need for run the economy. But this infrastructure is needed. No country in the world let they move if you not get transformational infrastructure like 5-star hotel, conference center, and all of those. Where would they go out? We get statutory meetings that will for host as a country. Will they decline? Because we don't have the capacity in our country to host those meetings. And if we now, at this moment, we don't get an arrangement like this where they put infrastructure in Lunge for open Lunge and make Sierra Leone an attractive destination for international conferences, I think.
Even at the risk of depriving other sectors?
Oh, how is that money depriving other sectors?
Because on the other side, the Ministry of Finance, like you say, go suppress from the national budget
for
pay this loans.
But let's allow the Ministry of Finance that does the allocation of resources, revenue, and expenditure for till we say, because with the build conference hall, they put 10 million or 15 million as we counterpart funding, the hospitals are going to be shut in Sierra Leone. Let's wait for the Ministry of Finance to say, we cannot send the kids to school. There's no school feeding program this year because we're using $12 million to build. I'm coming.
They might not get to that level, Mr. Minister. The only thing where people then go see now the backlash from for example, the teachers. I
resonate, Mrs. F. So I get financial difficulties as Minister of Foreign Affairs. I don't get paid in many of the trips that I go. Yeah, we all get difficulties. You made a choice to open, for example, this particular TV station. You could have gone to somewhere who says sometimes if you invite me, I need to go if not stool or bench to sit down. But you made the choice, you made an opportunity cost that if you build Liberty, you want to distinguish your TV station as a TV station where we will come and talk about government. Now I'm coming. It's just an analogy. So therefore, an infrastructure like this, where they open with country, they will not oversimplify and say Sierra Leone's economy will break down today because we don't build conference center. We're going to build a 5-star hotel. Right now, within this country, we're bringing 9 heads of state and 2 vice presidents. Do you know how many I'm coming maybe with land. Inside Freetown, do you know inside Freetown, we're not going to reach 4 presidential suites inside whole capital of a city?
So, Mr. Minister, the practical aspects by all of this, after this conference go done, how often Salon they host the kind conference here? Because even the chairmanship where President Bio gets currently, it will not last forever. So how often we go for the kind big conference here?
Very often.
For let the resources there for pay we part of the deal we on don't sign.
Khadija, those groups who Mabel, I beg your pardon. The parties will sign up to this investment. They their market studies. I tell you, say, even as Minister of Foreign Affairs, we get statutory meetings. Who forget in this country, we would decline their meeting a day because we don't have the capability for host those meetings. We were in the Security Council. A host, when you get the presidency of the Security Council, you need to hold a big meeting in your country for highlight the priorities where you go with the Security Council. We are not able to do it in Sierra Leone because we don't get the infrastructure for bringing the Foreign Minister of France to Sierra Leone. For Camputan, the President of France for Kautan Salon. We could not because we don't get the capacity. If we're going to have a 5-star hotel in Lunge where they push Shimpawi with a modern airport, I think, yes, it's going to be a big challenge. I am a Sierra Leonean like any other Sierra Leonean. Priorities are going to be in a way affected, but I think this is an opportunity cost that's worth taking.
An opportunity cost we were taking for give facelift internationally to Sierra Leone. Then even within the city, we did so with the struggle with basic things they will need. Lights no day, water no day. Why not diverting some of these funds to them projects then?
So we cannot continue to be a consuming state without a state that is also creative and productive. The productive sectors of this country, now light industries, predominantly is the mining. But we get one of the biggest potential for economic development in this country is in tourism and agriculture. You cannot conduct a successful touristic economy without infrastructure. So let me not say electricity, for example. I'll tell you, in the course of this ECOWAS summit, the Kappa government don't cost Kappa for increase the production. Yeah, so you the benefit, me the benefit, businesses are benefiting.
Just for send the lights go na Lunge.
You know say Lunge.
Because you say
Lunge has a generator.
Because of this ECOWAS summit,
yes.
government don't make Kappa, don't increase
because we don't want to embarrass ourselves as a nation with black out.
So which means for just the pomp and pageantry. After that, things go back. So who side be there?
So if you were burning gas now, this particular day, you would have spent hundreds of millions for burn that gas. Now you have the state providing electricity.
Because
are you not happy?
Because
now 1 week you don't get electricity in this country.
Because ECOWAS is here.
But it's not because of only ECOWAS is here. Number one in the yes,
because
I tell you say there's an increase and we care for provide a bit. You see, let's take the state as a personality. The state as a personality. Every personality, for let you thrive, you have to be respected. Yeah, every personality, for let you thrive, there are certain things, certain standards where you for behave, when people will get respect for you and consider you for be a respectable member in the community. Now, the electricity when they provide, I tell you, hotels are overbooked in the Western region. Lunge and here, hotels are overbooked. Drivers, interpreters, there's a lot going on in terms of economic activities. So if the summit, they stimulate the economy. If the summit, they provide temporary jobs for people. If the summit, they make, people in the get their day to day. And I think it's a good thing because it's a windfall. And when the summit goes, the infrastructure will remain. Other summit will come and we'll get incident of a particular kind of summit by the country.
After we come on Lunge, come back in the city. Lunge, they go back to Ibinde.
No. Everybody thought after the airport and what people talk about that the airport was not going to be, as useful as we had thought it was going to be. With the new airport, we're gonna have big carriers like Ethiopia, the only Turkish, and all of these airlines are coming. We have an international standard airport, right? So even though we didn't hire, but the airport is functioning, and I believe with this conference center and all the infrastructure and the facility where they did Lunge will not be the same. The people of Lunge are happy. The people of Lunge are happy. Today, Lunge is one of the recent cleanest town there inside salon. Go to Lunge.
Visitors are coming.
Of course, when visitors on the car, I was so you left, you bid on attended.
Not so like saying
Well, then I'll keep on. When the summit is gone, not only government responsibility or my only responsibility as Minister of Foreign Affairs, the media get a role to play to tell people we don't organize a summit. Lunge don't clean this infrastructure. Let we be citizens for maintain this infrastructure, keep with communities tidy because we get more visitors in our country. So it's our collective responsibility.
So for governments, this is an economic profit for Salon.
Economic, diplomatic, security, and national pride.
Somebody where they listen when a critic we believe say this particular decision is not a timely one. Waiting you get for say to them.
I get for say to them, say let them go back to history, where we're coming from, and why would they participate in international organizations? Because we're a member state of the international space, and because we recognize ourselves as a state, that make people respect with sovereignty, political independence, and territoriality. And so, yes, things are hard. Yes, we don't get past experience of the OAU, where they become very much allergic to then kind of big event here. But this is going to be different. Sierra Leone is expressing it's coming back from the ashes of conflict, from the stigma of Ebola, from the challenges of COVID-19. Sierra Leone is positioned now as a country we're responsible and capable of interacting with other nations of the world. And because of that, and our gratitude to ECOWAS, this summit is justifiable.
Before you left for Mr. Minister, what are some of the things that we as a country want to go proudly showcase during this summit?
Sierra Leone cuisine, Sierra Leone's hospitality, and for sure the kind good people will be. And I tell you, the ECOWAS officers and national officers we don't come with it right now in Sierra Leone, whether they Freetown, where they do the meetings that have been to many people, we come for the first time. They are really beautifully amazed by what it is in this country. Everybody speaks about the potential of our country, and the distinct geography of our country. The way we country look is quite different from many countries in West Africa. So there is this excitement. I want to give you this again. In the diplomatic community in Salon, each time when we recall a diplomat, and they find it very difficult for go. Because our country is beautiful. We are beautiful at heart as a people. We're hospitable. When we want to be really kind, would it be a very kind people?
So why we were there not a see them thing?
Well, no begin. I mean, of course you see you. How many times I can see you at them beach, the way they pass na peninsula. You enjoy the beauty of the country. You yourself, they enjoy the beauty of the country. So this is an opportunity, really, truly, honestly, profoundly from the heart, that we should seize to open this country for investment in all the sectors, especially tourism.
All right. Many thanks, Mr. Minister. We joined me this morning for can talk about the ECOWAS Media Summit. That's the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Alhaji Musa Timothy Kaba. We can talk now to we can talk now to an economist where we can analyze the economic implications. The minister starts for talk about he starts for talk about the reasons why they as a government feels say it's timely for make this decision for invest in some of them things there. So where them put up in terms of infrastructure for make the country ready for host this particular ECOWAS Media Summit. We don't begin now with some of the economic committee discussion the way they go on now. By the weekend, His Excellency the President, they move in cabinet to Lunge for welcome the other presidents them where they come for attend this summit. So they take this short break. We can talk to the economist.
The world, they move fast, especially in the social media space. Every second, plenty things they happen, but waiting actually you they look for. Interesting story then at the social media where they shape your life. So, not waiting they happen at the problem, but how it affects you. Welcome to Trends. Also, we they bring you the real story them behind the social media noise. From technology, we don't take over the office them. So see them where they happen so we every day. We they dig deep ask the hard question them burden story. Join the conversation with me and my panelists them 12 o'clock every Wednesday now all the Liberty Online TV platform them. The world they move fast, especially in the social media space. Every second, plenty things they happen, but waiting actually you they look for. Interesting story then at the social media where they shape your life. So, not waiting they happen at the problem, but how it they affect you. Welcome to Trends. Also, we they bring you the real story them behind the social media noise. From technology, we don't take over the office them. To see them where they happen so we every day. We they dig deep, ask the hard question them burden story. Join the conversation with me and my panelists them 12 o'clock every Wednesday now all the Liberty Online TV platform them. The world they move fast, especially in the social media space. Every second, plenty things they happen, but waiting actually you they look for. Interesting story then at the social media where they shape your life. So, not waiting they happen at the problem, but how it they affect you. Welcome to Trends. Also, we they bring you the real story them behind the social media noise. From technology, we don't take over the office them. To see them where they happen so we every day. We they dig deep, ask the hard question them burden story. Alright, welcome back. You see Waji Breakfast Show, they come to you live on Liberty Online TV. We just done the segments we get for do with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Timothy Kabawe. Just don't can tell we government their own perspective of hosting the ECOWAS mid-year summit. Now we tell us in this segment we can talk to economists for let we get in perspective of this whole issue we get for do with Salon hosting the ECOWAS mid-year summit. We ask question now the flyer say if this not a profit or a loss to Salon economy. Well, let me carry the perspective of an economist. And at the studio this morning, I want to welcome Dr. Mohammed Ibrahim Justice Ganawa, we're a Vice President for the Economic Association of Sierra Leone. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Good morning and thank you for having me here this morning.
We just don't talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. We believe say from government your own lens, then believe say this particular summit is timely and a profit for the country, not just economic wise, but also diplomatic and other reasons the way it don't give. We then believe say this particular summit is timely. Let me start the conversation about your own perception first of the whole hosting the ECOWAS Media Summit in Salon at this time. Is it timely from your perspective?
So the economist, when you look at situations of such, they look with different lenses. So if you look at the current economic status of Sierra Leone in terms of the figures, poverty rate, which is 56.8%, means you get so many people away, they live below the poverty line. You go begin to think, say, some of the investments here are not to the appropriate time this for the government decide for undertake some of them things here, even though the financing gets a own strategy they use we will talk about later. But perhaps very more important here now that every government at a particular point in time gets written and referred to as their priorities them. So if the government in priority now for like push the frontier of them status at the international wall, the diplomacy component of an anyone for push. For them, I think it's a priority for them. But if you look at the basic structure of the economy at this particular point in time, looking at all of the sectors, inflation they up, unemployment high, the basic service delivery, them all a challenge in terms of healthcare, in terms of even the electricity, we may you need every other day for live. These are all challenged sectors. So you begin to imagine why is it that we not do something for moving on a frontier day rather than we come into waiting with the call the hosting of the ECOWAS conference. So it's about a priority. So if you look at the figure from an economist point of view, where you want to see how the macroeconomic climate day and the status of whether it's appropriate, I think there should have been other areas where governments can put some investment rather than focusing on this sort of thing.
From an economic point of view, from where you're sitting now, looking at how the Salone economy they perform, this decision for let Salone host the ECOWAS summit, now an appropriate decision. We look at the numbers, the figures, and how the economy they perform.
So that's just answer. So looking at the figures, the status of the economy, with the shocks and what they happen at the world today, where you say this happen, things in the progress will be don't make, some of the advancements will be don't make in terms of the inflation, for example, we don't go to single digits, we'll all be happy about. It don't go back. Anything happen today at the streets of Omos, all things just they change back, and at the end of the day, you will find out, say, it is important because in running a state, again, that this is something that I want to lay as a foundation. In running a state, then macroeconomic variables so that we can look for know what are the status of the economy, whether government need for diversify, whether government need for put money into some other sectors, and government can also look at them things and because one critical thing we make the answer to this particular question, where like the biggest fund and money, one of the $124 million. The people of this country, including the ministers, have never forget detail on what's embedded in that document. So because as an economist, when I do analysis, I can go deep dive into the document and so you will find out, say, the contingency liability, minister unable to talk on them. And perhaps what is more important is not just about the 124 million, because now the people and they put so much emphasis. What in we spend for organize the conference? That 124 million is just on the infrastructure end. How much million leones or billion leones we spend for organize this? For me, I've been really want for like the government able to tell me, because if we know now one day now, I can sit down now, I do analysis, looking at the impact of now money day in changing probably the health sector in some area. Teachers and way they cry, say their salaries they down for able for increase in salary. The health sector players and way they complain everywhere that they say their salaries. So all of them things and I think so for able for. But now the government give away a space where nobody know even know the actual. Even the 124 million, the minister said additional is saying everyone gets hands-on the things. So it becomes very difficult for you to analyze. But if we assume, say, now $124 million na PPP, where in government na just a guarantor, understand? Then you go begin say, well, probably there is a need for let them go into now one day. But what's more important, maybe Ellen Khadija, is after we don't do this entire thing, when you look at trend, mostly where you get them kind of establishments and you look at different things. If somebody gets a summit, we want to organize international summit, you go begin to look between Ghana and Sierra Leone. I think say for good. Ghana, they get summit like literally every other time. I spent some time in Ghana. I see so much seminars, international ones and conferences, summits them. How much of now, because now you get for being like a competition with other jurisdictions, and it don't mean say because don't build this means they get for cut off everything. Understand? But the investment where government put into this, we need for know what's into the plan. If we don't know what's into this agreement, it becomes difficult for like global for top bottom. Unless what we go to do now on more guesstimation, say this is what is there, this is what is there. So I think government need for come out and able for tell we if this document should be public. Let us know what's in the document and so that we go know what's in the loss, the economic loss and the economic benefit we will get. But the one we use for organize them. For build this OCR with this structure, a very important. You will not say this one I go there for a long period. It will get some, if we decide to get more events and I will make money, not so. But what is the cost for we organize this sit on so it's very important. In fact, for me, now the most important thing for the talk about, because now 124 million, now long term something now one day. Whatever thing we obtain, they will never know. Some school of thought they tell me in 7 years for repay, which I know there is no way we'll be able to recover that kind of money in 7 years, because we're not going to get program every other day. It's not just possible. Even the summits, how many summits they organize in Africa, we saw bridge, and how much of them they organize.
But these are questions where we just don't ask the minister, we come and also the competing priorities where they come with this, how often Salone they get some kind of summit here for get the money back for paying. Now questions the way we just don't ask them. And for these are all cards we be then at the table we make a belief say the one they already into the PPP still determine say this money Salone go able for payback. We made them go into RAM.
Yeah, so in this case, them believe say Salone will for payback. Now that's made them go into RAM. But again, another thing we're very critical we for take into consideration now that when you get all of these infrastructure, there is no certainty way they tell you say you will forget so much events you will organize. Now, President Bio is now the chair of ECOWAS. We will able for push way and get some programs okay before host day. But when President Bio is no longer the president of ECOWAS, how much of them things and we will forget? And when you go into PPP, government is the guarantor based on what's in the public domain. So if we will default in the loan, governments get forget now and then in balance sheet. So we get a responsibility we can service Nande. And besides the payment of even the loan, if you know they get programs and for maintain such facility, Khadija, is so much. You need so much money for maintaining that kind of facility if you know they get programs. And we know as a country we get this attitude of maintenance. But perhaps because now PPP, like the airport they maintain them very well and we maintain them that kind of way, you get short-term benefits them. In fact, this entire thing, if you want to analyze them from an economic point of view, the short-term benefit then is so much. Just with this one and they create jobs them, which is good. Young people then get jobs same way they do now, so man able to get economic livelihood. But how long then jobs and they get for be short? The construction work where they go. And another aside again, because we host this, the economy, the Lunge economy, even the Salone, the Freetown economy, again for boost. Because so many protocols them therefore come in country, so many heads of states, senior dignitaries and from different jurisdictions they come in country. All only they boost the economy in some way or shape. That's not short term. Anything we want to do, it goes beyond the short term. I think we should be focusing on what will happen if all of these tend not to work. Understand? And also, even if it is working, how long is it going to take us for us to repay all of these loans? And also, how are we going to continue to manage it? Because mostly, you know, for me, may challenge what again and Salone we come to them things here and they document on they even give, because some of them document and they if you give access to people them. In 1 hour time, I don't able for fan waiting and need for able for talk on.
Talking about documents, not to you know more is this concern. I remember the conversation began for Salone receiving third party deportee them. The question again, will more citizens ask now waiting the inside this agreement where the governments of Sierra Leone go into with that of the US? How many money involved? Who that then give this contract? These are all questions. And now again, this ECOWAS summit don't come. Huge amount of money involved. People like they ask the questions. Other people they ask the questions again. Why is it that this particular administration, most of the time, they can tend for withhold their documents there? Is it a deliberate tactics for just keep the public away from the reality, or maybe not just a strategy for their own administration?
So, in making them document and not be public, I don't think say it's just about an administration. It's we governance architecture as a look at across the NSBO led government, even the mother bill. We just, you know, then just believe say these are documents we don't know for make Canada the public domain. But if you don't make like Canada the public domain, what you can sit on as somebody that represents government. If you're able to talk to another document, they will be say all the fine details in a document, the people are able to know. Now, based on our one day, if you don't make documents available to me, all Waiting Liberty gets, if you come, you talk to me about Waiting Liberty they do. based on what you talk, if you go deep dive, now they alone enough for like for doing analysis on waiting the documents they're about. So for me, it's not about, I think like culture, be to say, we go for the ask government, let become something they say, the CSOs, the media houses, even the economic association where they represent here, overall they ask for government for talk to you about them document there. And for me, I can find it difficult for even going to media houses and now for talk on certain issues. Because you find out say the thing we use for able to do proper analysis on projects then, because this is my PhD I do on public investment. So when we get something like this, I was super interested because I want to see what's the relationship between public investments and economic growth. If you spend so much money, would they expect not just the short term, as I mentioned, the short term will go for see growth because people can get job, the hotels say all get for can get more people who go come. But after that period, by the time it is 1 year to 24 months, we will need for seeing an uptick. Because when you spend money here, in the short term, definitely because now infrastructure or something, it creates some employment, it creates some boost in the economy. But after 12 months to 24 months, what are the impact you will begin to check? And what will make you able for measure some of them things, and when you able for get hands-on documents on what they happen. If the government fall down, if we're able for raise that money for pay, what are the impact on the economy of Sierra Leone? They get for be so serious.
There are a lot of projected outcomes where governments currently they purport to the public say salon hosting this and this will go benefit and that will go benefit. Are you saying them purported outcome here so not match the realities?
No, so some of the things like when they talk about the visibility who they get, the diplomacy, understand? It's good. The moment you host anything here, definitely don't give more visibility. More people don't know, say, things like what they go around the country. For the mere fact you host anything here, they give you huge visibility in a positive trajectory, where they show, say, government, they will work well with, another, counterpart in the sub-region and then get confidence in the state able for host such kind of events. It simply means, say, the state gets the required resources for able for host them. All of them find details and which they are purporting is very good. For me, if all of them things and they were able for meet them things and it means say this thing will be a success. But in analyzing, I don't think so. We just need for the look at the good things no more. If other thing happen, we be to say all the thing with the plan say for happen. If it not happen, the minister talks say now they don't up the level of electricity as a result of the summit will forget. So it means after the summit to go back to normalcy, wherein you would be not sure of having 24-hour electricity. So I think for now, if you want to do proper analysis of this, whether I profit or loss, I think for now I would say in the medium term, I profit because of the fine things that will happen. But how will you for know whether I profit? You don't know what's in the money. How you know what's in a profit? Because you cannot determine profit if you don't know what's in a cost. So what's in our cost? How much are we spending to host the ECOWAS summit? I'm not talking about the infrastructure. If we are spending X amount, we all go school, then tell you so one calculate profit now, the revenue minus within the cost. So nobody don't know now the public domain now how much government they spend for host this summit. Nobody. Because even the minister when I ask them and will tell you how much money. Don't forget about the 124. So I will talk about profit. Maybe I will talk about profit.
For he say after this summit, this will be an opener for other big summits then, where the country go to host, and the country internationally, the image will continue for the fine work good day, and Lunge will continue for be this kind city, we go continue for get life.
Yes, if now that's not the hope of anybody where they go into these things. Say they will change the narratives. It will give you a fine status na the international world diplomacy highly maintained, will get visibility. And if we host this one, definitely we'll go for the get one day they can. But maybe look at the frequency of them. If you get every year you get 1-2 conference, and then able to maintain a place there. So we need more marketing. Is it that we need more marketing? Is it that we need for look at waiting they happen in Ghana and other jurisdictions where they get so much of them summit here, waiting and they do go for offer better service than them. So it goes far beyond just hosting the summit. And mostly when you have this summit, you have the momentum. But after the delegation, the delegates all the way come, they all long left back, don't go, we can't face reality. So in terms of waiting in the envision, now that's even me as a Sierra Leone go wish for. Even you know that you will wish for, say after this, or for able forget boom na the sector where you know we'll get more tourists and they come in, or they talk about getting big meetings. But Sierra Leone is a small country. How much of them think they'll go for host?
We also ask about the burden of this huge amount of money coming from budgets and how other sector then go become deprived. For I believe say the experts in the Ministry of Finance don't do a fine job in analyzing all of them cost implications there and the benefits. You are an economist. People in the Ministry of Finance will did an economics team as well. Exactly. If you currently forbidden at the Ministry of Finance in charge of budgets, this decision are one way you for contribute to say let's go for the ECOWAS summit? So
again, when you get the figures, again, one thing I want for let we know as economists, you get one important thing we then call the political will. If you are in an institution, not so like other jurisdictions and where you will see somebody, if you know make this, you go say I resign off. So if I did na Ministry of Finance, the figures then get for come. We're going to do some forecasting, some simulations, and follow we know which actually will get back in form of returns. But if the presidency, the state, take them as a priority, you just get for the one. So let's go back to voting history been tell we in 1980 OAU. Understand? From what we get from people who been there alive then 10 and day, then tell we say the governor at that time not be want to follow them host the OAU. The late Sambangura. They say not being want to follow the host them because they look at the cost benefit. But when the presidency, and you see say this thing is coming from the presidency. So despite the cost benefits, I believe the guys at finance go don't do some work. Like me now, I'm not able to tell you now exactly because I don't have access to the figures. If I want to argue somebody, the economists stay with the Ministry of Finance, we are all part of the Economic Association of Sierra Leone. If I want to argue anybody, the same figure we get access to. Let me say get access to, and they are able to do some simulations and know now it's okay. By the end of this summit, these are the things and we basically will forget. So it becomes difficult for Leclerc able for talk exactly within I go able for do when we not get access to them. But one thing I can say for sure now that when you look at priorities in the country, the funds we now 154 and 24 million only come from the budgets. From within they say they come out from a loan with government and the guarantor for na loan day. The money we then they spend for Ostam, now they come out from the consolidated fund. We like now we need for no. If we know say for example now 20 billion now we spend for host this, just that if I know now one day, I don't need anybody in finance for talk to him anything. That amount of money I can able for do my own analysis on, and I will tell you say there is no need for the government to host this thing at this particular point in time. But if we go with waiting and I then get access to the figures, I then know what they do. If they say this is what is available, and with this one we can host this seminar devoid, because again in governance at times it's not about too much of the cost benefit in terms of the economic component, but just the visibility. Government can spend so much money for get now required visibility. For say we host the I was the chairperson as a president. I hosted this particular event, and they go to the history books forever and ever. See President Bion, the TBNB chairman na ECOWAS, he host this event. So we can spend so much money for getting that visibility. And not mean say it will give you that kind of economic benefits. Then mind you, all waiting we do, the assessment we do, now projections. And in projections, there are tendencies for let happen as planned. There are tendencies for let not happen as planned.
If owner analysts them, we in the media not able to get access to this budget where government they use for plan and do other things then for this summit. The question now is how the public will hold them accountable, say. Now this money una spend as taxpayers' money. How the public will know if misappropriation happen during the term or then they do the planning? How the public will know if this person take this money for printing at the end of the day and not able for print?
So this na some of the lacunas then we'll get in the government architecture of the country where we not get access to them things here. So because you not get access to them things here, the level of accountability becomes minimal. But because you know available now, I believe see some of them discussion how they get for push government for let them make sure we get them things here. If we not get there now after the events, let them make sure they give a comprehensive report. That report they on this particular thing that will be so capable for subject to some empirical investigations for let know what happened, whether there was value for money. Because to be honest with you, when it comes to events of such, maybe are always particular about value for money. Let's assume everything we they anticipate, see, government they anticipate, see, get for come out from this thing, come out successfully. But the value for money is very important also. We sort of spend 10,000, we not for spend 20,000. Because we'll spend 20,000 simply means the remaining 10,000 they go into somebody's pocket. But now 10,000 they go in another person's pocket could be utilized for the development of the health sector, paying teachers and doing other things. First off, Salon, Mabel and Dija, Salon all thing a priority. Not in the way set to a Salon. No sector no the way don't evolve to那level. Everything is a priority in this country. Because everything is a priority in this country, it means anytime we spend government money, people of this nation for know how they spend this money. So that people are able for all governments to account, not just ACC, but even we, civil society, professional bodies like the Economic Association, the journalists, and like when are credible people, we're able for all government to account. But are you able for all government to account if you don't get them fine details here?
From the get-go, we all know say not to today them plan this particular summit and not just wake up one morning and say tomorrow then they get summits and Salona. It involves planning and people and they with the right in front of this planning. From the get-go, for your own estimation, also you think say they miss some for reach a point where the issue of public trust. So we all know say distrust between the people and the government. For let government person say something, the public believe now a whole different ball game. But how we reach here on this ECOWAS summit?
So I think this has been a problem year in, year out in our country. When governments want to go into something, the rate at which people for the be sensitized, talk to, understand about them things here, people don't get that kind. You will see one of the ministers in go social media and post, you know what I mean? If you look at the comment section of that minister, they will say a post, people will blast and people. So if we want for host events of such, I think the first point and for ensure say the people have for move along the process. Not just the people, even the professional bodies then for move along the process. Because if the people are aware, they know what's in they happen along the process, a lot of the questions that people they ask and they know for the ask. But again, another thing, you know, one thing about every human being, this OAU thing within the minds of people, Mabel. And one important thing I want to be to say, because of that kind talk with people and they talk saying I help for scrap the country economy, even though I'm not getting empirical evidence for now and day. But people in you know, people go with waiting in the if the people in me saying the late Shaka Stephen Oster help for push the economy down, a break the economy. And we come for a similar thing like this. Another very big one, even though that was bigger than this, because then have been not to be just ECOWAS. But what do you think? Say somebody go make go say, President's bill, this bill don't happen, a mistake bill don't happen. People and they say now that's being help for scrap the country economy. So already people and get a stereotype thinking about this thing before even. So because you got that kind of background the history books they tell you say such we don't happen, people and all the views saying that this may cause for lower economic collapse. It means you get more PR work for do for keep the people that are along, let them understand what's actually involved, and some of them find details there only the media people there for know, and in some of our presentations them for they get specific programs them not to now. If I now say the momentum for this thing only now that it can happen. So all of which don't happen. If not damage we don't happen, it don't happen. If not good work we don't do it don't happen already before this time. So whatever thing we talk now cannot reverse it. Because it has already been done. All waiting for spend, they already don't put none in place. Nobody not get for able for go and talk now and change them. But I think going forward, government for always take responsibility for push every agenda with the people, engage people, not to just because this thing not to 1 month, not to 2 months plan this. This is almost a year plan where then go don't get. And I think say from that time some of the discussions that I need for the get into the public domain, let them understand. Even the facilities within the billion, a lot of people don't even understand what thing they happen there. we go into PPP, waiting our own part, then just say we're a guarantor of the loan. But I don't think it goes beyond guarantor of the loan. Powell will get contribution what they get into them. Waiting our contribution, they get almost $1 million. This almost $1 million what they put into this. If we decide to they put her into manufacturing, the agricultural sector what they want for push. If we say for put her, they waiting at the benefits because every money we get what you call opportunity cost. Mm-hmm. If I put money in now something else they were left. So all of them things and they will go for look. It's not just about doing it. Getting the visibility, getting the ambience, understand? But I think it goes beyond that. So government, as you mentioned, we for always make sure say we get the people along. You don't just do things and at the last minute. And another thing that is so sickening is when you have the government officials again, when they come to some of these programs, popular programs like this, the questions that they ask and we be saying are in one the way people are for no. Then they downplay them. You know, they're not able to answer to and they just say, I don't get access to this. And mind you, if you are talking to the people, you say, you don't know this one, you create more doubt into the minds of the people. But if you don't begin to talk to them, then tell me how you come now, not to them discussions, and then now how we prepare, how one for like the protocols, all of them find details. Also then tell for they talk about the cost benefit analysis again. These are things we should have trashed 6 months ago, 4 months ago. At this time now, for the talk now, our protocols, how I don't plan. That's what they talk about now.
Is it deliberate from the end, or genuinely they not get no idea of some of these things that is happening? Where camp and planning, because if a whole Minister of Foreign Affairs, where they play an integral part in the planning committee, say I don't get these figures, one go they wonder, say if not deliberate.
So I think, say, for me, these are all smart people. Timothy, honorable, a smart person. The other people on the host, they're all smart people. Like I believe, say, a smart person. So if I know this, I know, say, they say no. So I think, say, it is deliberate because you cannot be the foreign affairs minister, where you get access to all of them things, into all of them meetings there. Some of them things there, even if you don't go into deep dive, just state some of the obvious. But when you say you don't have access to it, then you make everybody when they listen to you, they say like say we deliberate about them things here. But if you are not deliberate about these things, it means you need to do more.
So by your estimation, you don't believe say this high-end conference center where then they put up so now get for be self-sustaining after the conference?
So I get a mixed feeling about them. Mm-hmm. Because I know they just look at the beauty, the standard, the Hilton standard, all of these 19 are Ghana, 19 other places there. Understand? So again, people want for no waiting. What you would do for able for move people and then conferences they know that they get in Ghana. For let I left for listen to one radio program, for let listen to Liberty. So much they will Liberty they give me we make I go on for listen to them. So for like already not to like say na a vacuum, na a market we between get players. You already get players in other jurisdictions. Gambia gets. I didn't host the Africa Caucus very recently, about a week ago. I didn't host them. So for let somebody left Gambia, left Ghana and other jurisdictions and say one can host them as alone, we get much more for offer, we get more marketing for do, we get a lot for do. So not to like say as we talk and almost as we host them, things could change overnight. That's something where I may not believe in. And I believe so when they talk to the people, these are some of the fine details that you need for art. Say, with all of this happening, we go into more marketing, more visibility into them facilities there. It go help. But mind you, how much conferences there are being held when a big conferences will go cause people for come na that kind of facility and na Africa. It's very limited. Plenty.
With all this analysis we don't do Ghana, I go now ask you the question if this now wise investment.
So, again, because of the same thing I don't say, I go say I still get a mixed feeling about them.
If we go by the figure where at least they don't say over $100 million investment.
Yeah.
Is it?
No, again, if you $124 million investment, again, the reason we make I still get a mixed feeling about her because we don't know waiting how we how for column. Waiting how we stake into the document. The contingency liability, if we everything end up for go back, we cope around the waiting at the impact on we balance sheet as a country. But if then document they are available, I will be able to tell you say no, this is not a wise investment by the state. But for now, if I say not a wise investment by the state, so I not get access to another document, it will make me an economist. It will make me for be that ordinary person who just talk because he didn't talk 124 million.
If we forgo by the benefits where the country they get after the OAU summit. Yes, times don't change, everything they happen now differently. But if we forgo by some of the things them and try for compare them to how things they unfold now, certain documents and people like get access to that need than me. And when you look at trends and pattern, the maintenance culture very lacking in Sierra Leone. And you self don't make comparison, say you not feel say country them go left like Ghana for hosting summits, the Embry and Ghana Salon. It clearly shows say a lot they're at risk.
Yeah, no, the risk side, when you look at this, you get the benefits case, then you get the risk case. The benefits case, all of which are CD, it's more short term in nature, and we get 1-2 long term if and only then do a lot of work in terms of marketing and making it more lucrative, more incentive for let somebody left another jurisdiction. That is the aspect of the but the risk side now that the maintenance culture what would you always talk about, because now PPP. Private people, when they get some money into something, definitely, say they will maintain them. If they hand over the airport to government no more, you will begin to see a lot of lapses. But now that it's still the own, the people don't get for recover the money. So if you want to recover the money, you get for maintain the facility so that next time I will get reason for Camp Day. So that is one. So, the aspect we get for do with them not looking at the OAU, the OAU and this one here, a lot of people, they talk to somebody, they tell me say, now OAU, now been government money now will put the understand it, and that make a scrap the economy. But not just financing model. It don't mean say if we take government money now and go put some something, it not come more fine. And we take government money, we not to now just stand as guarantor if the thing go bad. And still government get for come back for for service then debts then they then cost then they. So in essence, the entire thing about the ECOWAS conference, understand, for me as an economist, I will tell you say if I look at the figures them, I look at how the economy did, understand, I don't think say it's time for like we go into them. Despite I not get access to the data, the documents them, because I think say we get so much priority now as a country. The energy sector is having serious challenge. Agriculture is still challenge. We still have high poverty. 56.8% of people in this country, they live below. That means out of every 10 person, almost 6 people in the way they live below the poverty line. So I think these are things that we be say could have been a priority at this particular point in time. But if government now then gets access to the figures then, they don't do their assessment and they don't do some simulations and some shocks. They don't say this happen and this will happen, this happen and this will happen, which I believe they must have done. And they agreed that we should go ahead with this. Our responsibility is for us to see what was expense after this entire thing, one for see, and we can come back and sit down at the drawing board and look at some figures there, and they will kick out something back to the public. And one thing, the moment it is available, the Economic Association will look at them, and will come back now all the media houses and for talk about them. But for now, I think I can say, waiting government hope say they will achieve. Every meaningful Sierra Leonean, we pray and hope that we will get this benefit, we will change waiting, then they expect it will change in the country.
But is it possible for say this is not just another strategy for show political prestige and we forgetting with financial realities back home?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing here, government get priorities at times, not to agriculture, not to teacher and in priority at that particular point in time. This particular point in time, the government in priority now for host this kind of thing, we go give them their own visibility and give them the kind status where government wants and the country they want for putting in a better shape.
Is it in the interest of the people? Because if now for let government just position itself, they are not working for themselves. They are working for the people. Is this in the interest of the people?
Yeah, so you go get another way for talking back. If I put my family to one status, understand, and one visit, my family people review one kind of way, it good for me picking them. Understand, it good for my wife, it good for my cousins. So if government want for puts the country to now, but again, when you put the country to then things here, the most important thing now the cost benefit analysis. If you always look at what are the benefits outweigh the cost. If you ask generally, people and will tell you say, We prefer let them make we get 24-hour electricity. We prefer let the price of rice go down than for us this. But that don't mean say this is not important. It is also important because in governance, it's not just about the bread and butter, which is very important because they make people and they even for cheering for, they even for take care of their welfare. But also the diplomacy component of every state is also important. So if government in their wisdom and think say this particular thing will help in changing this the status of the country. EBN will get a lot of things already happen, talk about drugs, and all of these things people they talk about where they give the country bad publicity. So this could be one thing that will help in changing the narratives. Understand? But what is more important at this particular point in time is for government to be aware that whenever we have such programs, we should get the people along. People should understand the day-to-day activities and what are we going to do. Value for money. They will know say we are spending 20 billion for organize this thing. And wait the go pa. They will go for know whether they say that they do this and not do them. We'll go for old people them. You remember when Aneskoma do the attitudinal change when they host the independence celebration? Because it was in the public domain, they're able for old people into account. But when these things are not in the public domain, it becomes difficult for you to hold people to account.
Earlier, I asked you about the people in the Ministry of Finance, we are the principal advisor to government in terms of the fiscal discipline and other things. Then you talk about the political will, and you talk about sometimes they get advice, but if there's a political will, government can go ahead.
Yeah.
Now that's happened in this scenario.
Well, I'm not going to say that that's happened because I don't get access to, I'm not working for Ministry of Finance, I don't get access to the data. But one thing I want to always know, the political economy is bigger than what a lot of people think. I go give you the best advice for do this particular thing based on my knowledge as an economist. But if it's a priority, then one thing we'll always know, and like when government say education are a priority, then I've been a priority, then a campaign on in 2018. Now the priority now, and no matter the explanation where you give for let them put money into other sector at that particular point in time, because the president now be a priority for in government, then go put 21%, 22% of the budget to education, and then left other side. No means say the other side or then left not important. They could be the game changers for the economy. But government say no, education is our priority. So no matter the advice you give as an economist. So the political economy now want to work in downplay so much. Even in analysis. So at times when you talk to some economists, then they tell you not textbook economists say, do this will happen, do this will happen. You forget about the political economy component of them. If you are the head of this institution, your priority now for ensure say we get XYZ for happen. No matter the talk at that particular point. They say, no, doc, let we just do this one here first. Because for you, now your priority. So the Ministry of Finance guys, I'm not going to tell you say they may advise government for do this. Or they're not advising for do them, understand? Because if I do now one, it means I just build on assumptions. But let's assume, say, if that was the case, and it's the priority of government, they will still go ahead with it. If the government want to go ahead with them. But I'm sure the brilliant minds the way they did, then go down do their work and don't advise. And if so, probably they go down say the government go ahead with them. If they say the government go ahead with them, then it means they say believe say this now a fine thing. But if they may advise government, say the government not go ahead with time, government go ahead with time, then it means say government's the priority now being for us this, not to the other way around. So it is now a fluid situation. You know, able for say government, the Ministry of Finance be advised let them do or let them not do.
So at this stage, President Bio being the chair for the ECOWAS head of states and hosting this particular summit, anything the way as a country go leverage on and say let we get this to our advantage whilst then they get this summit?
Yeah. So I think these are some of the gain side of what I think say we able for utilize. Now we get a very serious problem in this country. Like me we come out from Kailang, with people right now, this younger business, they really disturb them. This is an opportunity if we get the head of state for from Guinea come situations and this then platform on able for get then side meetings and follow on able for knock this thing down. So right now, even with sovereignty at that particular place, enough like na salon get na place. Then by all indications, we know say na salon property. But if you go there up to now, with relatives or family already they tell you. So that could be an opportunity for people for move the frontier, for let people get access to land again. That's now an opportunity. Another opportunity here, again. Now for Leclerc, we try for negotiate with other nations for going to some trade agreements them way might be useful. Even though Africa, like especially West Africa, most of what we the trade, now the thing where they produce, and another one and they produce. So trade now this part of the region it become more difficult because most of we now raw. The manufacturing component industrialization still low. So I think we get an opportunity for dialogue and get more things in place and for even strengthen democracy na the sub-region. We really get an opportunity for talk to people like within happen at Guinea-Bissau. One of the gains and why I think say the presidents make nothing happen, you go able for mediate and things go back to normalcy. So I think it's an opportunity for strengthening democracy in the sub-region. It's an opportunity for able for get other African leaders and for talk to Guinea president because I don't think say we need for go fet. With this an opportunity for able for make reclaim we land and we also get an opportunity for look at some of the trade agreements and we'll keep going to some other form of investment opportunities and we'll go forget from other. I think these are some of the beautiful opportunities that we'll get.
Internally, what's the opportunities?
Internally for the country, this one is just an aside, not good feeling. Salomon will feel good, say we host ECOWAS.
Longer to the globe right now.
Exactly. And then na good thing nowadays, so people will feel good. But on a more serious note, I think internally, let we work on a facility because we already don't go into we're not going for come back. Let we work on their facilities and let we make sure say we do the required marketing and look at what they happen at other jurisdiction and why them places them. Ghana always get something and they waiting for do better so that we're able to attract people and for come na we own country for can utilize the facilities and not be one to go enough for kill the country economy if we're not able to do any better thing after the summit.
Looking at even outside in position, was that strategic?
The Lunge?
Yes.
The arguments now that you don't sit on a plane, you can't cross the water again, that in fact then are the biggest argument, understand? See people they complain. But one thing I know for sure, if you get what you get, you manage them well, you make them very attractive, people can come anywhere for good day. If you want to come salon for go China, how many days you will take, how many hours you go sit on a plane? You sit down for long, but you still go there because it's in and gets the you want time. So for me, although Freetown I had for make again, because Freetown it don't box up. You had for fix, for you get into what you actually want, for able to attract a lot of things. But it is strategic. Yeah.
Don't the organization like IMF and the World Bank, they talk about the current economic policies and the expenditure and other things them of the government, and they don't really they advise them from the Washington office for see how they go reposition themselves. And now this don't happen again. I continue for ask you these questions repeatedly about the implications and also this could left the country. Government already in a huge debt.
Exactly.
Sectors then they where they deprive. Governments will command them month kingdom and they go for days. Government not able for pay them. The revenue generation really slow. NRA will come today and say we don't meet with target and all of this. Now that they spend money where the public not even know what involved in Siam. And President Leo in spending, particularly this last year, now one way cities they complain about, especially excessive overseas traveling. Now they invest this amount of money. We just they guess because nobody don't know what's involved, but hosting is really huge. What do you foresee for the next couple of months, maybe if they run into the early month of next year for salon economy?
So, the issue of government expenditure, that was on TB to say everybody knows about it. They don't the president in traveling, not just the president, other people who they work for the public sector, they travel a lot. They have a lot of conferences here and there. So IMF they keep on saying, even though we are making progress, but we still they spend so much money we will not fully spend. How much money government is spend for for on this for organize this summit? Because ECOWAS says ECOWAS again for contributing into now and day, but the money government is spend for organize this, the impacts and it just go help for let we continue for take more debt if we not get enough money for run the economy. If we don't spend so much money, it will make we go back for take more debt. And they don't approve IMF program 31.7 million don't come into the country. So we will continue to take more debt if and only if we not able to generate the required resources for fix what we don't spend, which we don't go pull. So, but perhaps what's more important, the impact here maybe not can be immediate. That now one thing I want for we know the impact here, the negative one on the economy not can be immediate. Because even if a loan you take, you got for take years for let you pay. If this loan go bad, not to under HEBO, it will pay. It will, because most times like the IMF loans they give to salon, they give 5-year grace period. So they give you now money the first 5 years, they pay anything. After that, then you begin pay. You begin pay the principal and the administrative charge on 1.5%. But at the particular time here, all of which in the happen, any money government they take now, most of them payments are going to happen when the next government come into governance. So the actual impact for say in 1 month, 2 month, 3 month time, the economy will make, even when you check OAU, not to say happen, economy no they just collapse overnight. Understand? It will take time because mind you, therefore they still they own the states, NIA will still collect and will still get access for take loan. So the basic things then will still able for run the economy. But now the long term impact, I think will always be a concern. And that's making a analyze from a radical perspective. I don't believe in that short-term benefit or the loss we can get. I would think will impact the economy, and then long-term benefit and cost and the impact, and then they tell so much on the economy we can end up for collapse an economy. We think can reach now, you debts don't so pile up in able for pay. You end up for and go now and say you're able for sustain the debt. Then at the end of the day, you get for come now under a pressure for declare austerity. You know what I mean? All of them things and they can come or we go end up for affect several sectors. They want key sectors, they want essential services that they give to the state. So I think in the short term, like we mentioned in months time, I don't think say even if they don't do so much bad, we'll not go feel an end 2-3 months here. That's nothing.
We'll still a patch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's if I don't go take money, I don't spend money. You know what I mean? Just for me name safe. Then elections they come. So you know one for day now, one we be say everybody knows all thing on bad off. You must able for make things next year an election talk now people are going to talk about. So you know one for put the economy in a bad shape, what you use for campaign. So this is a good one. If it happen well, it's good for the country. If it happen bad, it's bad for the country. Even bad for the government within a power now, because the opposition will use that for campaign against you. Say you go into this kind of thing, you waste the country resources, people and one thing, politicians and they will use them for wrong term.
All right, many thanks, Justice, where you joined me this morning for kindly with some of the economic analysis into this investment where government don't go into for host the ECOWAS Media Summit. As you now know, the summits don't already begin and they get the side economic discussion and now been to Mani Conference Center. And by the weekend, President Bio and in cabinet ministers and other people they move go na the H.E. Julius Maada Bio Conference Center where they just build na Lungi specifically for host this particular ECOWAS summit. Well, now go end this discussion this morning. Many thanks to Justice Ganawa. We joined with this morning as an economist for with the economic aspect of and we'll be talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Alhaji Musa Timothy Kaba. We tell with the importance of this particular summit to the states. Well, continue for Watch Liberty TV. We'll continue for bringing a live updates as waiting they come out of this summit. Now go in this edition, and Mina Khadija Bangwadi say have a good day.
All right, till we meet again, Mabel Cabaret. Get a lovely day and goodbye.
Freetonians, dirty must go. And just like how for property rates and business license, FCC not the deal with cash, the service providers themselves on behalf of FCC not the deal with cash. So for you dirty must go, if you did any sign of Freetown except the Central Business District when at Block 6, you did use the Smart Cities app. If you didn't at Block 6, you did use the Dirty Box app. Dirty must go, cashless.
City castle and they want
Hello from Bullions, not dirty education. When you get US container, all dirty now for container. Now so did you know say we are for pay West collection fee. Picame. If you see them say, they go can they us. They go can collect you dirty for small penny. Take precaution for we well body. By force, fit on for clean.
you ready if dirty na skit say do ya left. You ready if dirty na gutter make you pick up. If it's on for clean, say na me, say na you. So pick up. Dirty must go. I said dirty must go. With a city castle and they want kiss on ya say. Councilors they say. Pick up.
The world, they move fast, especially in the social media space. Every second, plenty things they happen, but waiting actually you they look for. Interesting story then at the social media where they shape your life. So, not waiting they happen at the problem, but how it they affect you. Welcome to Trends. Also, we they bring you the real story them behind the social media noise. From technology, we don't take over the office them, to see them where they happen to we every day. We they dig deep, ask the hard question them but then story here. Join the conversation with me and my panelists them. 12 o'clock every Wednesday now all the Liberty Online TV platform them. The world, they move fast, especially in the social media space. Every second, plenty things they happen, but waiting